So it's a very long session conference. Okay, so many of our audience participants are staying there from the beginning to the end. Okay, that's something great. Okay, so we are in the last presentation, so we don't want to take a lot of time, so we quickly do the presentation. Myself and Mr. Gopal Sharma presented. Okay, so we together will present it. Let me share, sir, the screen. Share the screen, and then the PPT. Please let me know if it is visible. Yeah, if the screen is visible, I believe.
Yes.
Anybody confirm? Okay.
It is visible to me.
Yeah, so we don't go too much introduction because myself and Mr. Gopal have already presented it. Okay, so what we are talking here is ESG is a buzzword now. Okay, so environmental, social, and governance is now something is very critical, especially from the investor point of view, and then from the compliance point of view. Okay, so we talk about this very quickly, followed by how this can be done in a systematic manner. Okay, so let us, I'll just operate the PowerPoint. You can just, so I think we had a session in the morning, so I bring 30 plus years of experience in strategy execution, supply chain, business management, project management, enterprise resource planning, okay, with the various industries, very few certifications on the credit. So I'm the chief architect for Fruit Strategy, as a comprehensive strategy management solution. So we are the sponsors of this event. Okay, so I'll just take through Gopal Sharma ji. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Okay, I think morning I already gave a brief about myself. So just I want to say I have recently published a book on mastering strategic excellence. It covers both strategy development and execution. And it has got 4 appendices, useful appendices, where you have the sample of balances, scorecards, and strategy maps, and also includes extensive KPI library, which can be referred to in case it is required. And it also has all the standard templates which are used for strategy development and execution. So it can be very useful, kind of a help book. And as morning I said, 40 years of total experience, 20 years in strategy execution and balance scorecard implementation. What I forgot to mention is I'm also certified balance scorecard practitioner from Kaplan and Norton Palladium. That was done in 2008. And I think I'll just move on.
Yeah.
So we go to the next slide. Okay. The agenda is that how to align ESG objectives with the balance scorecard, and how to do the ESG assessment, and if any questions any of the participants have. So looking at the stakeholders who are impacted by organization's ESG footprint, of course, these are 8 main stakeholders, including investors, communities, suppliers, employees, regulators, customers, and finances. And we need to take into consideration the expectation from all these 7 key stakeholders. All right, next. So as you all know, ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. And environment includes, of course, climate change and carbon emission, energy efficiency, water scarcity, biodiversity, and deforestation. Social is employees' engagement, customer satisfaction, labor relations, geopolitics situations, and other stuff. And governance includes board diversity, which is, I think, recently it has come into limelight, including female directors. Minimum requirement have been established also for listed companies. Then you have management remuneration, which needs to be certified or which needs to be approved by key stakeholders and shareholders. Then organizations are required to have whistleblower schemes and whistleblower policies. Then political lobbying and donations are another things which need to be disclosed as per the governance requirement. Yeah. So major factors, if you look at impacted by ESG environment, of course, increasing operating costs due to higher pricing for greenhouse gases emissions. So organizations need to take care of. Then writes-off and early retirements of assets due to enhanced emission reporting. This is related to the first element. Then reduced demand for goods and services due to change in customer choices, because the customers are becoming more and more aware of those ESG requirements which are dictated by the respective government bodies. And then there are costs associated to adapt and deploy new practices and processes while transitioning to the lower emission technology. So these are main environmental factors, they impact the businesses. Social factors include the impacts on companies' profitability and reputation due to labor disputes and strikes and these things. It also includes, of course, employee satisfaction. That's a major factor. Reduced demand for customers or litigation due to safety risk in products and services. And then you have disruption in operations or supply chain due to geopolitical conflicts, which is kind of, sometimes it can be a major factor depending where you're operating. And then, of course, demographics and consumer changes, shrinking market for the company's product. So changes in the taste, changes in the requirements and new developments. All these social factors can impact, are impacted by ESG requirements. Governance is a major thing which has recently government has been focusing on. Multiple directorships of board members leading to conflict of interest. This is, I think, being addressed or being looked at now very seriously because it leads to conflict, or it may lead to conflict of interest if you have, if a director has membership in two different organizations and they are related to each other. Lack of experienced board members is also a cause of concern. Navigating an energy company through the transition, because many of the directors, maybe they are not having enough knowledge about the ESG requirements and they may not be able to provide right kind of guidance or strategy to the board. Then excessive executive remuneration also is eroding trust in business. And finally, scandals due to tax compliances on information lax in compliances on information disclosure, auditing and accounting and regulations. So these are some of the concerns which are impacted by the ESG. Yes, next.
Yeah.
Can you move to the next slide? Yes.
I did move.
Okay. It didn't work. Okay. So typically, if you look at implementing or establishing ESG corporate strategy, it is a 7-step process. So first of all, you need to do the materiality assessment, that to what extent ESG requirements are applicable to the business and what are the things they need to take care on priority basis. So that kind of assessment needs to be done. So that leads to doing the assessment of the current baseline situation, that to what extent the impact is there on the ESG requirements and how they need to be addressed. So based on that, the objectives and goals are set for the ESG strategy. And the fourth step is that to what extent they want to address and what, let's say, the targets they want to achieve in a time frame. So you have a time frame and then you have your strategy based on the time frame, and then you put some kind of a performance measures so that you are able to track the performance on the ESG requirements. And based on that, you develop a strategic roadmap that how you're going to achieve those objectives and performance levels related to ESG. And then you have those actions required to achieve those KPIs. And then the last step is the reporting the progress, both internally and externally. Because there are government requirements as far as ESG reporting is concerned for certain, beyond certain size of businesses. So they need to report to the shareholders and as well as to the government bodies who are actually responsible for implementing the ESG strategies for the businesses. So that's a 7-step process which need to be done.
Yeah. So can I take up, sir? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Carl.
So now, thank you, sir. How to do that how to link the ESG part to the balance scorecard? I think recently, a couple of years ago, as Mihai was saying, so balance scorecard, the concept was updated by Dr. Kaplan. Okay. So one of the way is to have an environmental and social perspective where you can have. So I need to share it, right? Again, is it visible?
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is it visible now?
The screen is shared, but there is nothing visible on the screen.
Okay. Let me stop and reshare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is visible now. Okay. Is it visible? Can anybody confirm?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Deep, you're able to hear, right?
Okay, now it's visible to me. I don't know if everybody is able to see it because I'm seeing only the presentation now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that way it is.
Yeah,
you can
visible.
see. Yes,
So we got
it's
the
visible. Okay.
So
Go ahead, sir.
So there are two ways to do it. From my experience, there are two ways to do it. One is you include one perspective for the ESG, whether it is a environmental and social or ESG together, or you have your standard 4 perspectives with the different ESG objectives clubbed into that. Okay, so it's your choice. What is the best suitable for you? You can define. Okay, so technically speaking, it is like this. So if you take an example, we have a financial perspective, we have a customer perspective, the learning and growth, and then internal and process perspective and learning and growth. These are our traditional balance scorecard perspectives. Now we take it up like sustainability perspective. So this sustainability perspective can take up like environmental part, social and governance part. So you can have one perspective to define that. So both ways are possible. Okay, so this is one example taken from an article to showcase financial, customer, internal, the learning and growth, and then there is like environmental, eco, social. Okay, so there are 2 or 3. It could be 2 or 3 separate. Yeah. You are right. Okay, so it will be like that. So it all depends on the organizational need, but the balance scorecard does include, the methodology does include with a different perspective or the same within the same perspectives with the different objectives covering up. That's your choice. So both ways are possible. So this is another example shared in the HBR review. Okay, so like sustainable innovative processes. So recently, so balance scorecard, they're talking about the vision, then the outcomes, instead of calling it as a customer perspective, we call it as a value for the stakeholders perspective kind of thing. Okay, so again, the same example. So how to do the assessment for ESG? Basically, you need to have a ESG team. This is very, very high level kind of flow, what we can talk about. So you can have an ESG team define ESG assessment questionnaires. It changed from industry to industry, company to company. So you need to see what is the compliance requirement, and then the scoring criteria. Some says 0, 1, 2, 3. Some say yes, no. You need to see it. Okay. So basically, conduct an assessment. So you have a score, you have a gap analysis, then you find out the closing the gap. Okay. So continuous reporting on the ESG performance, that is something. Now here we talk about, so all these things can be done through a system. That's what we talk about. Okay, so let me show you something here. So in the strategy map, I hope it is there. Yeah. So 1 second. So if you go to the full strategy, okay, so you can have a strategy map to talk about regular 4 perspectives, which is the financial, customer, internal process, and revenues. Or you can have, sorry, not in this. Let me take you through this. Yeah. So there is one more example where we talk about.
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. I'm not able to see if it is moved.
Yeah. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, the strategy map in the system, the flow strategy, it will help you to define.
To me, sorry, Mr. Kadir, still it is showing this Ananko's strategy map. That is to me, actually.
Okay.
So, I don't know if the screen, slide has next slide.
Let me share.
We are unable to see the screen, Dr. Kadir.
Yeah, let me share the screen.
I think there is some issue. I think computer got tired more than all of us. We are still at high level of energy.
Can you see now?
No.
Still not visible, the screen?
No.
Deep, can you just help us? So make it, can you make me presenter, Deep, so that, maybe that is the reason?
No.
Just help me out.
Yes, now it is visible. Okay, I'll mute myself. Maybe that can help. I'm not sure.
Okay. So basically, if you have a strategy map like this, so with a financial perspective, customer perspective, so internal perspective and enablers. So you can have a strategy map. So for okay. Yeah. So you can have a separate, sorry, it got distorted because of multiple things. I'm not sure. Yeah. So you can have financial, customer, internal perspective, enablers, and then also you can have environmental perspective where you can see it. Okay. So the whole strategy map can be customized to include the perspectives for the 5th or 6th perspective. So you can directly have it, and then once you click any objectives, you have the full story of the strategic objectives. Yeah, it's like that. So the main thing is the FRU strategy encompasses creating multiple perspectives, and you can include ESG part into that. So that's the main take. Okay, so I will also talk to you about the ESG assessment, which we talk about quickly in the morning. So you can set up masters. So how to do the ESG assessment criteria? So you can define criteria. Okay, so you can define the questions into the system. Okay, so what is the scoring mechanism? You can run the assessment part with this. So you can have a scoring. So anybody can give the scores with the individual users. You can even the pre-assessment questionnaires also can be set into the system. Okay, so that you can with the comments. Okay, then you can conduct the ESG assessment in the system. Of course, each participant will get the email, so you can see the overall score and average scores. So so individuals give the ESG team will give the score, and then the system do compile all the scores together. Okay, so likewise, you can have a ESG dashboards where you can see what is the target versus actuals. Okay, so likewise, you can see the individuals and also who are the one participated. You can see the scores. So the FRU strategy help you to do the ESG assessment in a more flexible way, user-defined way. So you can have it, and it's more collaborative platform to help you to include ESG into the design and then the implementation. I think that's a quick navigation through the system because we are at the end of the session, so we don't want to. So any questions related to the ESG, how it can be incorporated into the balance scorecard? So myself and Mr. Gopal Sharma will be happy to answer. Yeah. So let me stop the screen share. Okay, so let us take up the questions. Okay, because it's too late. It's already we have spent more time. So I would like to if there is any particular question, we will take it up. Otherwise, we will take it up to the concluding remarks of the conference. Yeah. So I think we don't have many questions. So all the questions posted will be answered by a concerned expert. Okay. So I would like to take this as an opportunity to thank all of you, all the speakers. They spent the whole time from the different time zones. Really, it is very much. I really appreciate their humble acceptance to participate in the conference, and it's a very knowledge-provoking sessions. And I thank all the participants who joined through all the channels, whether it is to WebEx or YouTube or Facebook. So we definitely take up all the questions and then make sure that we answer them. So we can unmute the speak Deep if you would like. So we can just welcome any questions or anything anybody want to speak. Yeah. So please feel free. Yeah. So we can unmute where is that? I'm not able to see it. Deep, if you can. I would like to unmute so that Yeah. I saw it I saw the feature a while ago. Yeah, here. Unmute all. Yeah, attendees can unmute yourself. Okay, so I just put unmute. So if anybody would like to give any quick insights, because it's a long day. It's almost like a 10 hours and 30 minutes. So it's a 10-hour session. So please feel free, Gopal sir. So you would like to talk something about it?
No,
Yes,
yes,
Sheikh
go ahead.
Qadir Saab and Gopal Saab. I
Yes.
think today's session was incredible. We had such a best speakers all day. So there was a lot of earning. My question is that what will be the next step? What will we do next? Because you have started a very good thing. Now we have to follow up with more events like this and more sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, so to answer this question, thank you very much. So what is the idea here is to make sure that the strategy execution and strategy planning are we would like to from the data labs and through strategy we would like to bring the experts to the another experts. So it's like a collaboration. So what we do is we will be conducting few more sessions not few more. It's an ongoing process. We would like to conduct a little detailed sessions. It's a 30 to 45 minutes is not enough to talk about these expertise. Okay, so what we will do is we'll have like a 2.5 hours